There we go.
Kevin Thomas, John F. here, Moving the Chains. John, we're here for our week one preview show. If you guys tuned in last week, we appreciate it. Had a good bit of viewers on there. Had a great time kind of breaking down some of the big games that we thought were coming up last week. And John, it's a great week of football overall.
Yeah, more surprises.
Yeah, you always see some shockers like a Clover over a Dorman, things like that. What were a couple other games maybe that caught you off guard that you didn't foresee coming last week, or anything just newsworthy that you were kind of surprised by maybe?
Yeah, I thought the Gray Collegiate Camden game was a little bit of a surprise. Did not think Gray was going to go into Zimp Stadium, and just what came in. And one of I forget who it was, commented on one of our posts too and said that Gray absolutely dominated the game from the start.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a little bit surprising. I was surprised with Greenwood a little bit. I thought, they came in and we talked about it a little bit, say, hey, that they're good, they're a physical team, they're big, but they lost all these seniors.
Yep.
They played a very clean football game. They were very impressive over at Hillcrest Friday night. That was a fun game to be at.
They were. That was a game that I didn't, it ended up being pretty close, but I don't know if it was really that close. We'll see about that. But,
yeah, the score made it seem a lot closer, but you got to give, and we can get into it later, but you got to give credit to Hillcrest because Hillcrest, they could have folded. And they kept playing hard, and they made that fourth quarter pretty interesting. They had a good bounce on both of their onside kicks.
Yep, had a chance to get them
both of them back. So that kicker made, he gave him a chance.
Yeah. Well, anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in. I see Eric's in here, Haley, Brian, Vern, a couple of guys in here. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If this is your first time here, like this post, like our page, invite your friends. Love to have you around. We're also on Twitter at Movin Chains, Instagram, MOVINCHAINS as well. After we're done here, I'll put an audio-only version up on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all that stuff. We're also on YouTube, so check us out wherever you can. And, John, let's get into some of the week one games here that we foresee as being maybe the four biggest or a few of the biggest here in the state. And the first one we got to talk about, it's the one that I think everybody's probably got circled on their calendar this weekend, John, and that is Dutch Fork, five-time defending champion, traveling over to the reservation to take on Gaffney. Now, John, last week we thought that, Dutch Fork would beat Wren. We thought they would. We thought, 2, 3 scores, maybe 4 scores. We didn't think they'd score 70 on them.
No. This was... And it wasn't like they pulled away in the third quarter. It
was
over
from the start.
At halftime.
From the start. Yeah, that one ended up 70-8. Dutch Fork was led by Jarvis Green with 188 and 3 TDs on the ground. So they played both the quarterbacks, Patterson and Appler some. So I'm not sure what they're going to do there this week against Gaffney. Then go to the Gaffney side. They beat Spartanburg 31-12. But now one thing about that game, Spartanburg didn't have their starting quarterback. Raheem Jeter didn't play that game. Hard to maybe judge too much, but still a win against Spartanburg on the road is always a good ball game there. Always a good win for them. The two running backs, Littlejohn and Smith, combined for 252 and 3 TDs, played very well. Huey played well, wide receiver. The new quarterback, Loftus, played well. John, what do you see happening in this game? This is one of the biggest matchups that we'll see all year, honestly.
Yeah, right when it got announced, I was thinking, oh, man, this is going to be great. And then knowing what Dutch Fork did Friday against Wren, and Gaffney, that was a game where Gaffney kind of did pull away later in the game, but that was a pretty close game early on and even into the third quarter. So we're not sure how good Spartanburg has improved.
Yeah.
I talked a little bit of trash about the Vikings earlier. They could be better now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the fact that it's at the reservation, though, I like Gaffney to be competitive.
Yeah.
I don't think they win the game, though.
Isn't that crazy? We think that Gaffney's probably one of the top 5 teams in 5A. They've got Dutch Fork coming to their place, and we don't know if they keep it within 3 scores. Is that not crazy?
I think they keep it within 3, but, if they blow out Gaffney, that's going to be scary. That's going to be scary for the rest of the state.
Yeah, because, they say always that the biggest improvement comes between game 1 and game 2 every year. So that'll be interesting to see how that turns out, how much better will these teams look. I watched some of the Gaffney-Spartanburg game the other night on TV, and, you just some of the stuff you see where you see Cole Batson out, you see some procedure penalties, things like that. So how much of that will be cleaned up, I don't know. This game is going to come down to, I think, maybe who can throw the ball a little bit better. I know that Dutch Fork has a good receiver there, the Williams kid. Gaffney has good receivers with Huey. And I like the Loftus kid at quarterback, I do. I'm not sure what the Dutch Fork quarterback yet, so I'm kind of feeling that out a little bit. But both teams have really good running games. Tyler Smith for Gaffney is a great ball player there. Obviously, Jarvis Green for Dutch Fork is. I think, I mean, you have to lean Dutch Fork, I think, because they're the 5-time state champion. You know, they scored 70 last week against a good Wren team. I hope Gaffney keeps it close.
That game was also on the road.
That's true. That is true. But, you know, are you leaning Dutch Fork as well? It sounds like, John?
I am. I think it's going to be more like a 10-point game, though.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's a game where Dutch Fork controls.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think Gaffney will probably have the lead at any point in this game.
Right.
I think Gaffney proves that they belong on the field and they can be competitive. But I just can't buy someone beating Dutch Fork yet. Not after Friday.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you Dutch Fork as well. You got to wonder a little bit, John, is, you know, how much do these teams open it up here? You know, usually non-region games, you may hold a few things back because they don't really matter for seeding purposes and whatnot. But if you've got a team, say you're Gaffney, and you're playing, say, Gaffney against Dutch Fork, and you're within a score or two, do you maybe open it up a little bit more because you're saying, you know what, I want to beat Dutch Fork. I don't care if this is the second game of the year. I want to beat these guys.
You know, it's good that you say that because we were talking Friday at the Hillcrest Greenwood game when Hillcrest got back into the game, and I think it was a 4th down play. And you said, hey, do you roll out your 1 4th down play that you have?
Right.
Or being early in, you know, non-region play, do you save it? I say, hey, you save it here. And I think you do the same if you're Gaffney, even if you're Dutch Fork.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what if Dutch Fork's down 7 late in the game?
That's true.
What do you do? I don't think you use the play, but you use your 2 or your 3 play because you're going to have, if you're Dutch Fork and you have a tight game with Gaffney, good chance you can play again.
That's true.
If you're Gaffney and you want to win the state championship, you're going to have to beat Dutch Fork probably. So I don't think you hold back much. You might hold back 1 or 2 plays that you have.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think you do.
Yeah, that's what I know. We've got some Gaffney followers and Dutch Fork followers. If you guys are tuning in, let us know. I know Patrick, Chris, you guys are big Gaffney guys. Let us know what y'all think about it from your side here. And let's move on to our second game of the week here, John. Another that we're really looking forward to here. Got scheduled last week due to some cancellations and whatnot, and that's Myrtle Beach. The Seahawks traveling to Dillon to play Dillon Memorial Stadium between the White Walls. The Wildcats are ready, John. I saw earlier. This is the first matchup since 2009, and back in that matchup, Myrtle Beach won pretty handily back in 2009, I believe it was. You know, another kind of weird, or not weird thing, I guess, but this is game 1 for both of these guys. You know, Dillon got canceled late last week against Lake City, couldn't play that game. Myrtle Beach, I don't think, didn't have one on the schedule for a while there. What do you see happening in this game with the Seahawks and the Wildcats, which is going to be a big-time 3A, 4A matchup?
Yeah, you know, it's hard to tell because we haven't seen either of them play yet. And Dillon, we haven't touched on this yet, no Jackie Hayes.
That's
this
right.
This is game 1.
First game, Kelvin Roller at the helm.
After Jackie Hayes there, the illustrious Jackie Hayes career at Dillon. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see what Dillon looks like. Or, you know, how similar are they from years past?
Yeah.
I think Myrtle Beach is clearly the better team. I think Myrtle Beach wins this game. But after what happened in Camden last week, you know, we harp on, or at least I do, like, hey, this is a 2A team, this is a 3A team. I think when you get with the really good teams, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It did to Gray, it did not matter that they were playing a 3A Camden team.
Yeah.
You know, I think this is going to be a game where Dillon's going to have their hands full. I think Myrtle Beach wins. But I don't think it's a blowout either.
You know, one thing we mentioned here about, or we haven't mentioned, I guess, since we had our preview show last week for Dillon in the 3A, they've lost athlete Nigel George for the season, had an injury, so he'll be out. So that'll be tough for them to replace him. Still got, you know, Grider at quarterback year 2, Nemo Squire at running back, been there for quite a while. Got a young O-line, see how they hold up against Myrtle Beach. But Kelvin Roller, I'm sure, will want to come out and make a statement in his first game, obviously. And then we look at the Myrtle Beach side, obviously the quarterback Ryan Berger going to App State, receiver Adam Randall going to Clemson. 4 offensive linemen back, I mentioned that's a big news there for those guys. And I think I'm going to leave Myrtle Beach as well because, you know, with George being out. But we'll see, John. I do want to I don't know if we've got any Dillon fans here, old school Dillon fans in our chat here, but correct me if I'm wrong here. I was doing some research a week or so ago about this. I believe the last time Dillon had a big time coaching change, they had a guy who's been there forever. I can't remember the guy's name right now. He retired, and they didn't give it to Jackie Hayes right away. I want to say they had another guy they hired, and they went like 1-9, 0-10 for 2 years there in a row. That guy got the boot. Jackie Hayes came in, and we all know what he's done there. So you kind of worry if hopefully history doesn't repeat itself here. You know, maybe they gave it to the wrong guy and there's a guy waiting in the wings that you don't know. But hopefully that's not going to happen and the Wildcats can play some good ball this year. But that should be a great ball game, John. I'm going to actually lean I'm going to lean Myrtle Beach as well. I just too much firepower on offense, man. I was supposed to go down there. I just don't think I can do it.
Yeah, you love Squire.
I do love Nemo Squire, man. He's a good time player there. Got some comments here from Jeff Gordon here, Derek Bethay, Rashodi Brigman. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Mark Tyrell Corley. Derek said Lakeview fell just short last week. They did. That was a great ball game, though. Rashodi said hard to go against Dutch Fork. That's true. Jeff Gordon here, the third, says AC Floor versus Sumter. Is that a game of the week? That's one that actually just got added. Was it yesterday? So I don't think we quite had time to put it on our games week. We will talk about that one in a little bit. We will for sure. Prentice Squire, so he's going with Dylan. I mean, it's going to be a great ball game. I really could see either way going there.
I'd love to see Dylan win it too. That
going
would
through
be
the White Walls.
That would really that would put everybody on notice in 2A too.
That's right. Or 3A.
3A.
That's right. So our third game of the week, one a little more close to where we are now, and that's Burns at Chapman, John. You know, this is another 3A, 5A matchup here. You know, Burns, big win last week over Greer. Chapman, this is their first ball game. You got to wonder how much of an advantage does Burns have already playing a game this season.
Yeah, I think that is a big advantage just to be able to, you know, shake off the cobwebs and those first quarter jitters. Burns is not going to have as much of that. Chapman, you got to expect some of them more, you know, especially playing Burns. They're going to have a little bit of that starting out. So I think for Chapman, hey, the big thing is, hey, don't lose the game in the first quarter.
Yeah, hang in there.
Don't go out there and turn the ball over right out the gate. You know, we saw a little bit of a slippery football to start the game last Friday with Hillcrest and Greenwood. So, you know, make sure you don't blow it right out the gate, because I think Chapman is plenty good enough to win this game.
Yeah, and they've got the veteran QB settled, which I think will help them out a little bit, maybe not being too jumpy off the beginning there. And those 5-0 linemen back, that's a big thing. You know, even if you need to take the first quarter, let's just run the ball. You should be able to get something going there with those guys back, especially Burns being a little bit young and inexperienced on defense. I was impressed last week with Gabe Rogers, the quarterback for Burns. Threw for 5 TDs, no turnovers. That's a big-time stat line there. We know, we talked about Greer this game last week a little bit. We said Greer has some quarterback issues, and they still do. I mean, so you don't really know how good that Burns defense is. I think they held Greer to, 14, I believe, last week, something like that. So
55-14.
While that's good stats, we don't know how good Greer really is. We talked about that on our show here and also on ESPN Upstate with Rob on Friday on the show. We hopped in on there, but should be a really good ball game. And Chapman playing at home, they're tough to beat over there, John.
They're very tough. You're going to have a big crowd out there. And, Chapman, they love these kind of games. They're not scared of, you see them play Dillon. They're not scared of Dillon. They'll rough you up. So I'm sure they're going to be looking forward to it. They'll have a big crowd out there. They'll probably have the whole field painted. If you've never been to a game at Chapman, go to Chapman. Whoever does marketing or advertising with them does a great job. Every 10 yards, they've got either Bojangles or somebody.
Yeah. They're advertising get their money worth for sure. They do. Curtis Staley says Chapman QB Drew Settle's an underrated QB. I agree. That kid, he's a good player.
I thought Cole Lacerda was an underrated player too.
That's right. But they grow different with Chapman for sure at the quarterback position. But that'll be a great ball game. John, who do you think takes out between the Rebels and the Panthers?
I tell you what, I'm gonna get Chapman.
Yeah, at home.
I think Chapman getting to play at home. I think they're flying under the radar a little bit. I think Burns. They struggled last year. And that a very impressive win against Greer last week. I think if it was anybody else, say like a Lawrence or a Hillcrest or Greenwood, he'd beat Burns 55-14. We'd be like, wow.
Yeah.
Look out for these guys.
That's the thing. We kind of think that maybe last week maybe there was a little bit of smoke and mirrors, fool's gold there, the way that score turned out because of how Greer is right now. But still a good win. Mac Long did some good things there. The Barnes kid ran the ball well also for them. And they've got a good O-line as well with the Henderson kid there. Yes. So should be a pretty good running attack from both sides, you would think. I think I may lean Chapman too, John. I'm not sure if I'm making my pick yet, Chapman, but we'll think about it. But
we'll have two good quarterbacks in that game as well.
That's very true. And then our fourth game of the week here, we've got North Augusta traveling to Ridgeview. Another kind of a theme of the night here, John. This is our third cross-classification game here. A 4A North Augusta going on the road to Ridgeview. North Augusta actually played Saturday against Lakewood. They started on Friday night, had a lightning delay in the Aiken area. They didn't come back Saturday morning and playing. They shut out Lakewood 17-0. Took care of them. So kind of an interesting situation there. So North Augusta last year had the region player of the year, quarterback Austin Harrell. Big-time player, really good player. They had a kid transfer in from a private school this year. Apparently beat him out at quarterback.
Oh, wow.
So the region player of the year. So this guy started at quarterback. They had the guy from last year, Austin Harrell, starting at free safety. Well, the other guy wasn't really getting it done, so they brought Harold back in. He leads them to a victory. So it's maybe kind of an odd coaching decision there by Coach Bryant. I don't know about that. They've got two good running backs, Curry and Jackson. They got Gamble at receivers, a good player there for them. They've got probably one of the best kickers in the state, John. Drew Stevens committed to Iowa, big time kicker there for them. So that's a weapon you can have in high school games for sure. Ridgeview took care of Westwood pretty easily, 40-20 there. The Washington kid at quarterback, the Bird kid at wide receiver are good players for them. John, I think this could be a very good and maybe even high scoring ball game here.
I think it's gonna be a great game. I like Ridgeview in this game, but you look at Ridgeview and Ridgeview, not perennially a big time football program. This is not really familiar territory for these guys, and they are right now they're ranked 4th in the 5A media.
That's very. I think they're a new 5A team. I believe they were 4A
They used to be smaller
until this last classification.
They used to be a big time school. Then when Blackwood opened up, a lot of kids went to Blackwood. Ridgeview got a lot smaller. They went to 3A and 4A, which is 4A now.
Yep.
Now they're back up to 5A. But you look at the 5A media bowl. You got Dutch Fork number 1, of course. And then the next team in the Midlands is Ridgeview. So they've got a lot of weight on their shoulders this year. And, hey, they took care of business against a solid Westwood team. But yes, it's going to be a fight for them. I think they win this game, but it's going to be a good game.
First-year coach for those guys, too. Their coach went to UNC Charlotte, with the coach receivers or something like that. So first-year coach for them. I think I may leave the Yellow Jackets lean towards those guys on Augusta on the road. One thing we've known in the past few years, those guys know how to play close games. They certainly do. So I expect it to be close, and I think they may pull this game out, John.
Okay, I'm going to go Ridgeview. I'm going to go Blazers on this one.
Should be a good ball game there. Got a couple more comments. Mark Tyrell Croy said he likes Chapman. Chris Blanton said, "What's up?" Gaffney got a huge task this week. That they do, Chris. Be sure to go back. We started with that game actually, so when we get done here, rewind to the front, listen, talk about that Gaffney Dutch Fork game for sure. But John, before we get into more of a statewide scoreboard there, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, the Georgia Agency, Bradley, Wayne, Richard, and the crew. Serving the insurance needs of South Carolina for over 35 years. They're a full-line insurance agency concentrated on employee benefits and health insurance with an office in Mullins and Murrells Inlet. They can help you all across the state. They have clients in Greer, Rock Hill, Columbia, etc. So wherever you are, they can help. TheGeorgiaAgency.net. Check those guys out. They'll take care of you with life, health. If you need insurance for your employees, whatever, they will take care of you there at the Georgia Agency. And our other new sponsor, John, you do the sound again? Whew. That's it. Security Advantage Federal Credit Union. They have a clear purpose to improve the financial lives of their members. They offer much lower loan rates and don't charge the fees that other banks do. Whatever your personal journey, Security Advantage is here to offer you smart financial solutions. Join today at SecurityAdvantageFCU.com. That's SecurityAdvantageFCU.com. Security Advantage Federal Credit Union. Win at banking, thrive at life. Member NCUA. So appreciate our sponsors there, Security Advantage and Georgia Agency. If you guys want to hop on board, shoot us a DM. We'll be happy to have you here. So, John, you want to run through some of these? Got a comment here, chat that has Fort Dorchester found a game this Friday. They did. Came out earlier. They are actually playing Carolina Park, so that'll be a very good ball game as well. Carolina Park's going on the road down to Fort Dorchester after Berkeley had to cancel against them. Chris said, "I know y'all didn't pick Dutch Fork to win." Chris, you got to go back and watch.
Don't rewind.
You got to rewind and watch it. I can't comment. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys tuning in. I see Kyle in here, Daryl's in here, Vardarius, Prentice is in here. Nemo Squire, big time player. We love that kid. I think it's gonna be a great ball game here against Myrtle Beach. So John, let's run through some of the state games. If it's one canceled, I'll try to pop in there and say that. If not, maybe we'll give a couple notes about that game as we go through it.
All right. Look, I had scores actually pulled up from last week. Let me get readjusted here.
Patrick Megan in here. Appreciate you as well checking us out here.
All right, we've got Catawba Ridge continuing. This could be quite the program here. They won last week. They will go on the road this week to play Nation Ford.
I believe they're number 2 in the 4A poll, or tied for second in one of the polls. And they also have a quarterback who just got named the number 1 prospect for the class of 2024, I think, start for them.
Very impressive.
They've got some talent there, the Copperheads do.
We've got Clover hosting Myers Park out of Charlotte. Mm-hmm. We're looking at this Myers Park team. They've got they've got 2 D1 athletes on their squad, a wide receiver, 3-star guy, and a cornerback, also a 3-star guy, going to play his football at Appalachian State next year. So Clover getting hosted a pretty talented Myers Park team that lost
Yeah.
last week, their first game, to a very good
And if you
high school team.
if you saw our post yesterday, Clover was my team of the week. I mean, beating Dorman on the road, that's nobody gave them a chance. And I think we all knew that Clover could score, but we didn't expect them to hold Dorman to 7 points.
Yeah.
That was a shocker there for the Blue Eagles. But hats off to Brian Lane and the crew over there.
Yeah, they got a tough game this week.
They
We'll see. Might learn a little bit more about how good or bad Dorman is.
That's true.
Depending on what Clover does this week with Myers Park.
That's true.
We got Williston Elko hosting Silver Bluff.
I believe that one got canceled today.
Oh, Conway, are they going to host St. James?
I think that's canceled as well.
No dice. Hannah will host Wren.
That is happening.
Wren probably would like to get that one to get canceled. Have a week to
Yeah.
settle
I will
down after
say,
last week's game.
TL Hannah played a closer game this longer than I expected last week. So maybe TL Hannah's not
Much
quite
closer.
as good as they have been. But a lot of that could be breaking in a new quarterback. That offense is always tough. Wren needs to bounce back and just get some points on the board. They got to do something different.
Yeah, got to do something to just get the taste out of your mouth from last week. We got West Florence. Now, they are hosting Sherrall in the new stadium.
Yep, opening that up this week. Looks great, by the way, from the pictures I've seen. Looks awesome.
We've got Broome hosting Chesney. Great Falls will host Eau Claire. J.L. Mann 1-0 hosting Riverside 1-0. You don't get to say that very often.
No, that's
not in football.
That game may show up in our pick'em.
That'd be a really good baseball game. Could be a good football game. Andrew Jackson.
I do want to mention Riverside. One quick thing: quarterback Rob Sanders, 4 TDs, no turnovers last week. Good game.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Andrew Jackson will host the Latta Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
We got Hammond hosting Ben Lippin and some Midland Skis to action. Columbia will host Pelion. Powdersville will host Belton Honeypath. Powdersville 1-0.
Very nice win over Broome. Broome's got a kid, Dylan Ramirez, good player. Powdersville kind of shocked me with that win last week.
Yeah. Powdersville is a football program that has struggled the last few years, so maybe they're getting figured out now. Lower Richland won last week. They will be hosting White Knoll. River Bluff will be hosting Spring Valley. Those are 2 1-0 clubs as well.
Could be a good game there.
Baptist Hill hosts Scotts Branch. South Florence hosting Manning. Ooh, another Rock Hill battle. South Point hosting Rock Hill. Rock Hill took a tough one last week. We're playing host to the Greenville Red Raiders. Mm-hmm. Greenville knocks down a 48-yard field goal late to win that game 31-28. So props to Greenville.
Yeah, and then Saturday, South Point held off Northwestern, beat them, I think, 42-35, something like that. It's a great ball game Saturday between those two schools in Rock Hill as well.
Travelers Rest. They will bring Johns Creek from across the state line.
TR, tough loss last week. Hate to see it. Oh, Chris Blanton says Dylan Ramirez is a transfer from Gap. You didn't know that, so interesting.
Burke will host Porter-Gaud. Daniel hosting Easley.
We hope. I know Easley Wade Hampton had to get canceled. I think that was the Wade Hampton side that had to cancel it Monday, but we'll see for sure about that.
Lakeview hosting St. James.
No, Lakeview actually traveling to Kingstree now. Okay. Yes. A Lakeview team that played well against Anger last week. They put up, I think, 30-something points. The Fay kid at quarterback played really good.
Yeah, so we'll see. Played Anger very tough.
See if they can get a win this week at Kingstree.
Woodmont is scheduled to host Southside High School, that is. Mm-hmm. Crescent will be hosting Dixie. Malden hosting Spartanburg.
Interesting matchup.
That could be a good game. Malden's first game. They did not get to play last week. Estill hosting Denmark Olar. PD Academy hosting McVie.
Big game
for McVie.
Big game there. PD, kind of polar opposites. PD has some speed on the outside, some good athletes there, while McVie is more of a big physical type team. So interesting matchups to see how that's going to turn out there Friday night over at the lawn, as they call it. I'm going to go with the Golden Eagles.
Central of Pageland will be hosting Carolina. That will be Central's second game, Carolina's first. Wando hosting James Island. Philip Simmons will be hosting Waccamaw. Greenwood will be hosting Emerald. Richland Northeast hosting Lakewood.
Richland Northeast got their first win in like 2 seasons, I think, for last Friday night. So good for those guys.
Gray will be hosting Oceanside. This was going to be a really good game. Still might be a really good game, but Oceanside really got beat up.
Got smoked Saturday against Huff. Or no, they played Butler. Butler Saturday. KZ Adams, we talked about that as one of our games last week against Camden. Rushed for 24 carries, $180, and 3 TDs. I think he's the best player in the state. Best running back in the state, John.
You do that against the defending lower state champs. That's pretty good stuff.
I think Gray keeps rolling. They need to beat Oceanside, and I think they just keep on rolling.
Now, I talked quick sidebar here. I talked so much about young kid from Camden. Of course, I can't remember his name now. Prefer walked on at South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Shows how important he was to that Camden Bulldog team last year. Woodland will be hosting Stratford. We got Wade Hampton here in the upstate hosting Greenville. Somerville hosting Westside. Long route to Westside.
Mm-hmm.
Airport hosting Brooklyn Casey.
I believe that one's canceled.
Okay. The Cheshire Cyclones slated to host Fort Mill. McCormick will be hosting Aiken. Midland Valley hosting Strom Thurmond. Fort Dorchester hosting Carolina Forest. Big time game in the
That's going to be a great ball game Friday night.
Carolina Forest getting no respect.
They scored 70 last week too, I think, or they scored in the 50s, I think. Or, they scored a lot, whatever it was. It was a big basketball. Yeah, it was 70 something, 50 something. I remember that. Yeah, they scored a ton of points.
Not in the top 10.
We'll see. Scott Saylor, Luke Janik, Coach Morris.
May River hosting Hartsville. Dorman will be hosting Bowling Springs.
Need a win there. Cavs got to get a win.
Got to get one. Dorman or Westwood, hosting Blythewood. We'll battle in Blythewood there. Gilbert will be hosting Batesburg Leedsville. That could be a good game.
Batesburg Leedsville got beat by Rich Spring Minetta last Friday. Maybe their first win in quite a while, if not ever, for them over Batesburg Leedsville. So we'll see how good that team is this year.
Bamberg Earhart will host Bluffton. That could be a good game. Ashley Ridge hosting Bishop England. North Central will be hosting Keenan. Northwestern will be hosting Indian Land. We'll try to get back on track. Wagner Sally hosting Louisville. Now,
should be a good ball game there.
I'm reading here, Pickens hosting Eastside. I'm not sure if Pickens has lifted their extracurricular
that either. Yeah, I was going to make a comment. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Pickens County, as of last week, was not having any after-school activity. So Eastside may not be playing this week either. Blue Ridge hosting Greer. Big game in Kershaw County. Camden hosting Lugoff Elgin.
Was it the Watery River rivalry? I think I read somewhere today.
Wow, that's not what we called it.
Lugoff and Camden. That's what I saw today, man. I don't know.
All right, I like it. 96 will be hosting Ware Shoals. Seneca hosting Palmetto. Mm-hmm. And AC Flores, we said, will be hosting the Sumter Gamecocks.
Also a big-time game. That could have been one of our games of the week.
Yes, that will be a big game there in the Midlands.
Yeah, I do want to hop in here. I see Chad Furman's got a question. Remember that Fort had had Carolina Forest scheduled for September 10th. Got canceled. Yes, that was because Carolina Forest in that region switched it up for this, so they're going to play each region team twice. It threw off everybody's schedule, but luckily we were able to still get this game in this Friday night.
Lawrence will be hosting Clinton. That'll be a nice little rivalry game there.
Clinton has got a team this year. I'm telling you, they got a team. Lawrence played tough against TL Hanna last week as well, so it should be a good ball game over there.
Now, Saluda, they might have their hands full Friday night. They host Rich Spring Minetta.
That's right. I love the Lee Park kid at quarterback. Big time player for them. But Saluda, big win over Strom Thurmond last week as well. Wasn't even close.
Big one. Hillcrest will host Woodruff. Liberty hosting Berea. Newberry will host Abbeville. That could be a very fun game.
Could be. Got a question here for you, John. Somebody said, what's the spread of Lugoff Camden?
Ooh, I'm thinking, tell you what, lines came down after Friday. Lugoff played a pretty good game, lost to Riverboat 28-7. I think Vegas came out with a 8.5-point line to open. Camden is the favorite.
Okay. Curtis Staley said Batesburg Gilbert canceled also.
Okay. So that's what we got on tap for Friday as of now.
Yeah, so a lot of good ball games. Hopefully we don't see any more canceled. I was telling John, it's tough to even get our pick'em set because every day there's games canceled and games rescheduled, so it's tough to get that going. But do want to remind you guys about our weekly pick'em contest we're doing. I'll be posting that probably again tomorrow, trying to give a little more time to make sure these games get settled out. And I'll be emailing you if you were in it last week as a reminder. But if you missed it week one, that's okay. We dropped your lowest score of the season, so you're okay to get in this week. So make sure you do that. I'll put the link out. We've got 10 games again. And I do want to throw up the leaderboard right quick, and congratulations to our winners. We had 2 people tied at 8-2. So we had one canceled game. That was Goose Creek Oceanside. What we did is basically give everybody a win for that one, so they keep it at even 10. And we had 2 people tied at 8-2. That was Haley F. and Elijah S. Had a whole group there at 7-3. Most guys, some at 6-4, 5-5. I finished 7-3. John, I don't know what you were doing over there at 5-5.
I got fooled.
That's
Week
tough,
0,
John.
it's hard to predict.
Don't mistake me, John. That's tough. But yeah, so shout out to Haley and Elijah. Great week 1 for those guys, or week 0 for those guys. Hopefully I keep it going this week. But I'll post that link probably tomorrow. I'll send the email out with that. Make sure you get your picks in by 7 o'clock on Friday to be counted for that. And like I said, if you missed the week, it's okay. You can still get in and compete for the year-end prizes we're going to be doing here. So definitely get into our high school pick 'em. And once again, congrats to Elijah and Haley. And also, shout out to you guys. I think we had about 40 to 50 entries. So a lot of people in here. So if you win this, it's some real bragging rights.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's some real bragging rights. And I know you guys want to beat me and John, right?
That's what obviously not hard to do.
Oh, man. Well, when we mentioned that, so here's the games we have lined up right now for our pick 'em. And John, maybe we'll give a quick comment on those. We'll talk about our big four, the games of the week: Dutch Fork, Gaffney, Myrtle Beach, Dillon, Burns, Chapman, North Augusta, Ridgeview. We talked about those already. Also got that Myers Park Clover game. We mentioned that Clover big win last week. Myers Park took an L there. Will be a good game over there. See how that goes. Oceanside Collegiate, Great Collegiate. We mentioned that one. KZ Adams, big game. Oceanside got smacked last week. See how that goes. Rich Spring Minetta, Saluda. Rich Spring Minetta against Saluda. This is a game I like a lot. I like this Rich Spring Minetta kid at quarterback. Saluda, big win last week as well. We also mentioned Clinton Lawrence. That's one of our games that are going to be able to pick them as well. And then this one, John, I kind of want to go in depth here. Sumter AC Flora. Sumter had a big win last week. This is another 5A 4A matchup. Sumter going to AC Flora. What do you think may happen here in this ballgame?
I think AC Flora's going to win.
Really? Sumter had a big win Saturday against Lakewood, I believe. Sorry, correct. No, I think it was Lakewood. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
little Sumter County matchup.
Yeah.
I was just so impressed with AC Flora last year and understanding how much speed they had. I did not see AC Flora play, but I had some people that had been to an AC Flora game tell me how impressive they were just from a speed perspective. And obviously the run that they had to the state championship game is pretty incredible. I think AC Flora wins this game. I think Sumter, we talked about them, in the preseason preview, how they have a good bit of talent, and it's hurt.
They lost a lot of guys last year, man. They lost a lot of guys.
But they, hey, hats off to them for winning Friday. But I think AC Flora, for the talent that will be on the field, I think AC Flora will have the more talent.
One thing I will say, going to Sumter's advantage here in their category, they've played a game. AC Flora has not. AC Flora got canceled, I think, day of, I believe, against Brooklyn Casey last week. So Sumter does have a game under their belt there, so we'll see how much that helps them out. But that'll be a good ball game there between AC Flora and Sumter. Another one mentioned earlier, Riverside JLN. This is a game that usually wouldn't be much, you wouldn't think. But JLN got a good kid at receiver, Toby Cates. Dad played at college. He's a good player as well. And then Riverside, the quarterback we mentioned, Rob Sanders, had 4 TDs, no turnovers. Two good wins for those guys last week, John. What do you see happening in this Riverside JLN matchup?
I like JLN a little bit. Riverside impressive win. They beat Charles Rush on the road, 42-20.
A TR program that's been better. They're not great, but they've been better the last couple of years.
I mean, to be on the road 42-20, that's impressive. We're talking about two programs in Man and Riverside that lately just not have been very good.
Yeah.
So it's awesome to see them pick it up a little bit. I like JLN a little bit. I think just and this could be a total shot in the dark. I feel like there's more athletes at JLN than Riverside. Riverside tends to be more of a baseball school, more of a golf school. JLN just seems to have a little more athleticism at that school. That's why I'm going to go with Man.
Makes sense. And we're also looking at Carolina Forest, Fort Dorchester. That we're going to try to get that in there as well. Like I said, it kind of came in late, so we're going to see what happens with that one there. But that'll be a good game. Like we mentioned, Scott Saylor, Luke Janet going down there, play Fort Dorchester. Zoltan Osborne, big-time quarterback for Fort Dorchester. So that'll be a good ball game as well. You wonder how much of the travel factors into that one, John. That's a pretty good little trip down there, you would think, for Carolina Forest. But that'll be a big-time game there as well, John. Any other you want to hit on or notes you got here before we kind of wrap it up here in a second?
No, I tell you what, though, I like Carolina Forest in that game.
Yeah.
I think,
they don't get no respect.
I don't know why nobody's talking about it. We got to talk about them more probably. We'll see what they do Friday, but they deserve the respect because they get overshadowed a little bit because they're in the lower state, and everybody just thinks Dutch Fork.
That's right.
But hey, they've made Dutch Fork beat them the last few years too.
Yep. Got one more quick shout out to our sponsor, the George Agency, Bradley Wayne Richard and the crew. Started insurance needs in South Carolina for 35 years. Whether you need life insurance, health insurance for yourself because you're a seasoned employee, maybe you own a company, you need an employee or insurance for your employees, they can help you out with all that. Check them out at thegeorgeagency.net. They do a great job. I've worked with them before for my insurance. They can help you out all across the state. Greer, Greenville, Columbia, Aiken, Myrtle Beach, wherever, they can help you out there. So give those guys a call. thegeorgiaagency.net. Then also check out our newest sponsor, Security Advantage Federal Credit Union. They've got much lower loan rates and don't charge the fees that other banks do. Whatever your personal journey, Security Advantage is here to offer you smart financial solutions. Join today at securityadvantagefcu.com. That's securityadvantagefcu.com. Security Advantage Federal Credit Union. Win at banking, thrive at life. Remember NCUA. So check those guys out as well. I want to shout out to you guys for tuning in. I see we got Mark still in here, and Chris, Catherine, Daryl, Chad, Patrick, Curtis, Daryl, again, sorry, Verdarius, Haley, Kyle, Cheryl. Tons of good viewers in here. Appreciate you guys. So this is your first time, like the video, like our page. That would be great. And if you want to, go click the drop down, click invite all your friends to like it. That would be awesome too. So we just love talking high school football. Love getting the comments from you guys and pictures from you guys. I know we usually get a couple photos on Friday nights of games you guys are at. So keep doing that for sure. Follow us on Twitter as well at Movin Chains, MOVINCHAINS. Same thing as Instagram. Also, once we're done here, we'll have the audio-only version of the podcast up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. If you want to check it out that way, in case you don't want to look at us. I mean, that's fine. We get it. Also on YouTube, and then this video will stay on Facebook forever as well, too, so you can check it out there. But lots of good viewers tonight, John. Lots of good conversation. You know, what's something you're looking forward to this weekend or this Friday night?
I think the game that I'm most excited about is Chapman Burns.
Yeah. Okay.
They haven't played, or at least I don't know the last time they have played.
It's been a while because you don't see a ton of 3A, 5A matchups. It's been a while. Yeah.
And I like that it's at Chapman.
Yeah.
You know, hey, hats off to Burns for saying, hey, yeah, we'll go play every
Yeah.
day. I'm excited about that game because I think, and with Chapman, I mean, they're probably going to score.
They always
50,
score. They always score. Yeah.
So I mean, it's probably going to be an exciting game from a fireworks offensive perspective.
Yeah.
And that's the game I'm most excited about. And I know what's going on at the reservation. I get it.
Are you sure?
But Chapman Burns, I'm excited about it.
Very nice. Patrick said enjoyed the show. Appreciate you, my man, Patrick. So while you mentioned that game, I believe me and our third team member, we haven't brought out yet, but I think we're going to be going over to the reservation Friday night. So if you guys are there, let us know. I know Chris and Patrick, you guys are probably going to be there. Hit us up. Love to meet you guys, shake your hand, and say hey. So definitely let us know if you're going to be over there. That's where we plan on being. But, you know, this is, I do want to mention this game one more time before we get out of here. Usually this game will be the biggest game of the week, no doubt, except you just happen to have Dutch Fork Acton this week. And that's Myrtle Beach Dillon.
Yeah.
That's a big-time matchup down there in the PD region. So that'll be a very, very good game over there between the White Walls. But lots of good football. Hopefully all these games get to happen and we don't have to see any more cancellations. But we'll see. And make sure to tune in tomorrow or follow along tomorrow for our pick'em to come out. Get in that. Try to beat me and John. Try to increase your score from last week. We're keeping track all year. There's a year-end prize winner there, so definitely get the pick'em that we'll post again tomorrow. And then I think that's it, John.
Sounds good.
All right.
I'm ready.
Yeah, for John Epps, I'm Kevin Thomas. Moving the Chains has been our Week 1 preview show, and we'll talk to you guys next week.